Hello dear students, welcome back again to Chinmoy's YouTube channel. So this is the second lesson which for revision I have taken. So that is the reproduction in plants. That is how do plants reproduce. The important questions for your midterm in this lesson I'll be discussing. So the previous lesson was reproduction in humans. So I think you all have gone through that lesson questionnaire session. So it was a quick revision of all the questions which I have covered. So please make a different notebook for biology where you can write down or jot down the important questions which I'll be discussing in your questionnaire session. So let us start with today's episode's question answers. So the first part here we are having the fill in the gaps part. That is as the previous episode also we have discussed about the fill in the blanks first. So let us discuss. So dash is also known as micropropagation. So what is micropropagation? Another name of micropropagation, we can tell that it is also tissue culture. It is also called tissue culture. Just recall the things which I have taught in your class or you have gone through your textbook when you were learning the lesson. Then only it will be a quick revision. Now sugarcane and pineapple plants are grown by dash method. So they are only grown by the stem cutting method. They are only grown by stem cutting method. Multiple fission occurs in certain algae such as chlorella and chlamydomonas. Okay, is it clear? Now dash propagation takes place in plants which do not have seeds. So the plants which are not having seeds, how the reproduction will take place, how the reproduction will happen, it is through the vegetative propagation. Vegetative propagation. Dash are the organs for vegetative propagation in potato. So what are the organs? Tubers. So it is also vegetative propagation and the organs for vegetative propagation are tubers. Now in grafting, the stem cutting part is called the scion. From one plant is attached to and tied to the rooted stem of the stalk of another plant. Rooted stem or stalk of another plant. Now the reproductive sex cells are also known as gametes. Okay, they are also known as gametes. The small outgrowth arising from the yeast is called a, what is it called? The small thing arising from the yeast, outgrowth arising from the yeast is called a bud. Now just go through them again, just go through it again, and if you want to write it, note it down in your notebook so that before your day of exam, biology exam, you can just go through this, fill in the gaps and what all I am discussing. So the first one is the tissue culture, is also called micropropagation. Sugarcane and pineapple plants are grown by stem cutting method. Multiple fission occurs in certain algae such as chlorella and chlamydomonas. Vegetative propagation takes place in plants which do not produce seeds. Tubers are the organs for vegetative propagation in potato. In grafting, a stem cutting is called the scion from one plant and is attached and tied to rooted stem, that is called the stalk of another plant. Now the reproductive sex cells are also called the gametes and the small outgrowth arising from the yeast cell is called the bud. So let us move on to a few more questions and fill in the gaps in the next part. Now we are again continuing with fill in the gaps. The gynoecium consists of, what are the three main parts the gynoecium consists of? That is the style, stigma and ovary, right? Style, stigma and ovary. Now pollination taking place between two flowers present on two separate parent plants is called, so the pollination which is present within the same plant, within the same flowers of the same plant, that is self-pollination. So it is present on the two separate plants, that is called the cross-pollination. Now the process by which a dormant embryo becomes active and grows into a new plant known as, so that is the process is known as germination. Okay, during unfavorable conditions, the next one, some organisms develops a thick protective covering called, what is that covering called? That is produced during the unfavorable condition, that is called the cyst. They provide with a protective layer that is called the cyst around themselves. Now dash protects the flower in the bud stage. So what is protecting the flowers in the bud stage? That is the sepals. They protect the flowers in the bud stage. The male reproductive part of a flower is called androecium. So the female reproductive part is called the gynoecium and the male reproductive part is called the androecium. So dear students, if you want to know more regarding this questionnaire pattern as well as regarding your topics as per your curriculum, you need to subscribe to my channel for more updates, for more lessons, and what all I am teaching in the coming episodes and in the coming videos, what is there in store for you. So please do subscribe to my channel. Don't forget to like and share my videos with your friends so that whatever I am teaching, it may reach your friends also and other students also. So please do subscribe. So let us see what is there in store for us more. Now here a few more questions and fill in the gaps is there. So almost everything I have covered. So few more questions here are: a single cell formed after fertilization is called. What is the single cell formed after fertilization called? It is the zygote. So just try to recall once before I write the answer. The fruit is a ripened dash that gives one or more seeds. It is the ripened ovary. Now water, a suitable temperature, and what is required for the seeds to germinate, and the other conditions in which it is oxygen. So water, suitable temperature and oxygen are required for the seeds to germinate. So this is all, mostly I have covered all the fill in the gaps part, and next is the next question pattern. So here is the next pattern, that is what is the answer the following in one word. So the result of fusion of two gametes, so result of fusion of two gametes, the result in the formation of what we can say that they are forming the zygotes, and the process is called fertilization, but the result in the fusion of two gametes, they lead to zygote formation. Now we can say the next one, that is a plant propagated by grafting. So it is a very common example that rose is propagated by grafting. Now the next one, the female reproductive part of the flower is called gynoecium. Okay, is it clear? An organism that reproduces by spore formation is the bread mold or rhizopus. You can say that rhizopus is reproducing by spore formation. It is also in general called the bread mold. Okay, and next comes the male reproductive part of the flower is called the androecium. The male reproductive part of the flower is called androecium. So these are all answered in one word. The method of reproduction that occurs in amoeba and paramecium is called the binary fission. So this method is called the binary fission. A plant reproducing by the adventitious buds on the margin of their leaves is, so the plant name is bryophyllum. So the name of the plant is bryophyllum. Is it clear? So please make a notebook every time I am telling that, make a note of these things which I am teaching you and as revision. So let us move on to the next one. Now here is another continuation of that part, only answer in one word. So let us take the first one, that is fertilization takes place inside the, so which part of the plant body that fertilization is taking place? It is taking place inside the ovary. So we all know that, right? Just we are doing a revision, and if you have not yet gone through that lesson where I have taught you reproduction in plants, please go through that. I have divided the lesson into 3 parts. I will be putting the link in the description box below as well as in the I link above. Go through it so that it will be easier for you to learn those. These answer the questions. Okay. So flowers having 4 holes is called a complete flower. So a flower having both the male and the female reproductive organs, that is called a complete flower. A pollen tube that grows through the style. So through what the pollen tube is growing? It is growing to the style. Now seeds are produced from the ovules. So seeds are produced from the ovules. An incomplete flower with only one androecium is called a staminate flower. So an incomplete flower with only one androecium is called a staminate flower, while an incomplete flower with only one gynoecium is called a pistillate flower. So that is a staminate and this is a pistillate flower. Next is a simple division of an organism into 2 smaller daughter cells of roughly equal size is called, what is it called? It is called, the process is called binary fission. So it is a simple division process of an organism into 2 smaller daughter cells of roughly equal size. So that is called binary fission. Now let us move on to the next one. Now if they are telling you to write an artificial process of vegetative reproduction or vegetative propagation, so there are many artificial processes, right? So mention may be made of any one. So you can write any one of them, like you can write cutting. So either one, any one you will have to write, cutting, layering, grafting. So many procedures are there. So cutting, layering, grafting, tissue culture. So these all are various types of vegetative reproduction or vegetative propagation, right, by artificial methods. So any one of them is only correct. So you can write any one of them. And a plant embryo, next one is, which consists of, so a plant embryo is consisting of what? So it is consisting of, so if they are giving you options, right, if they are giving you options and choose the correct word, like plant embryo consists of plumule or cotyledons, plumule or radicle, cotyledons, embryonal axis or radicle, or rather a plant embryo consists of, we can say that it is consisting of cotyledons and embryonal axis. Okay, it is consisting of cotyledons and embryonal axis. So it is consisting of cotyledons and embryonal axis. So this is almost, I have covered all the objective type questions and fill in the gaps and answer in one word. Now we will move on to the next category of questions. Now here is define the following. So I have taken many definitions here. So any one of them can come, like a few will be coming. So like the cross-pollination, define cutting, grafting, multiple fission, budding, vegetative propagation, germination, self-pollination, gynoecium, anything like that can come. So this is actually pattern of questionnaire I am giving you. So apart from this also other questions can come. So now comes the differentiate between. So this is another important column which comes in your exam. So that is self-pollination and cross-pollination, insect pollinated flowers and wind pollinated flowers, stamen and pistil, asexual reproduction and sexual reproduction, binary fission and multiple fission, cutting and grafting, staminate and pistillate flowers. So these are the main things of differentiate between. So differentiation can come. So when you are telling differentiate between these, so you need to see the marks, whether it is 2 marks or 3 marks, and then you will have to write or jot down the points. If it is 2 marks, you need to write 4 points, like each 2 points you need to write. Okay, so that it contain of half marks each point. So the question number on which you're writing will depend. So you'll write according to that. Now drawing, as I have told earlier also, they can give you the label diagram, they can mention the parts, and they can ask you for the parts function also. They can tell you to do the picture study also. They can give you the pointing, they can tell you to write the labeled parts, or else they can give you to draw. So if they are giving you to draw, they can give you to draw the label diagram where to show the process of fertilization full in plants. Parts of a seed, they can tell you to draw the structure of a flower with its labeled parts. So all are important, right? So just go through them, practice the label diagram with each part noting their functions properly. Now the last question pattern, we can say that they are giving you the answer the following in short, answer the following in details, and write true, false or correct the false statement. So this is the full questionnaire pattern which you will be getting in your midterm exam. So fill in the gaps, answer the following, draw, differentiate between, write one word answer or something like that. They can give you the multiple choice, like tick the correct answer. It's not like that. They can give you choose the correct answer, but for 8th standard it's not, they'll not give you that. So they can give you answer the following in short, answer the following in detail, and write true or false and correct the false statement. So this is the full questionnaire which you will be getting in your midterm exams or whatever you call your first term. So please go through it. Subscribe to my channel to get more updates on my lessons as well as the questionnaire pattern which I am discussing before your exams. So do well, study well, do well in your exam, and don't forget to like and share my videos, and don't forget to comment in my comment box so that whatever queries you are having, I can rectify, or I can rather answer your questions in the next video. Okay, thank you.